Hey guys, in this video I'm going to ramble about self-growth and not staying stagnant and some applications to music. So I'll just talk about my own experience. I've been doing different things throughout my life. For example, when I was about 13, I became obsessed with animation, and I was doing flip books, and I was watching cartoons, frame by frame, movies, even frame by frame counting, and trying to replicate what I saw first in flip books. Then I got a camcorder that allowed me to take pictures frame by frame. It was actually every second frame. So I started experimenting with stop motion animation on my camcorder, hand drawn animation. Then I took a television class in my high school, and I was doing more of that. And the end result, when I was 15, 16, when I was making those cartoons, they looked kind of stupid, kind of homemade. And I remember I was stupid enough to show one of my cartoons to my violin teacher, and that was a big mistake because it was pretty much the laughing stock for a while. Like, look at this crap this guy is making. But I was passionate, and in the long run, even though I never became an animator, like a full-blown animator, I continued to improve, and the the knowledge that I gained from watching cartoons, from making my own cartoons, is that I understand movie editing very well, just intuitively, because of all the time I've spent analyzing different editing techniques, how many frames each motion takes. So as a result of that, I can say that I'm very good at editing, and I've recently, finally, after 20 something years, got a chance to use it when I first edited a music video of my own, and then I edited an infomercial, and right now I'm working on another music video with one of my bands. So sometimes those little childish kind of BS hobbies that everybody laughs at, sometimes they come in handy. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Now, let's talk about music. It's very important for musicians not to stay stagnant, to keep moving. And there are many musicians, for example, guitarists, who did just that. I can name you several musicians like that. For example, if you guys are not familiar with Black Sabbath, what's wrong with you? But the guitarist for Black Sabbath, Tony Iommi, look him up. So he had an accident just before the band just kind of made it big, where he lost tips on his of the fingers on his fretting hand, which was just a tragedy. Like, that's the end of the musical career for most people, right? But he persevered. He came up with plastic tips that he put on his fingers. He started down tuning his guitar, and he just persevered, and he was unstoppable. And because of that accident, we now have that sound that's called heavy metal. Though they were the grandfathers of heavy metal, with the low tuning, with those power chords, and then they started down tuning and down tuning even lower. And if you guys took a listen to the first couple of albums, like Paranoid and I think eponymous Black Sabbath, it's great music, but Tony Iommi's soloing technique, even though it's good, it's kind of rudimentary blues soloing stuff that pretty much Chuck Berry came up with, and nothing really out there. But then towards the late 70s, he evolved even more. If you listen to his live performances with Dio, for example, Heaven and Hell, holy hell, it's like a completely different guitarist. The soloing is just, he started shredding. So he never stood stagnant. He never stood still. He kept growing and growing. And I can tell you that it's like Tony Iommi from 1970 and then Tony Iommi from 1980 is like that. And towards the mid 80s, even better, even just more flashy, more virtuosic. Another guitarist, and I don't like this guitarist very much, Tom Morello, from Rage Against the Machine and all that stuff. His approach to guitar playing was just basically a guitar equivalent of a DJ, just noises and scratches and just kind of synth-like drones, not really, shredding, not really playing impressive solos. But then, just recently, I was on YouTube just browsing through videos and stumbled upon a video of him playing, I don't remember what he was playing. Maybe he was playing some Randy Rhoads solo or something, but holy hell, he just took off, and he's, I believe he's over 50 now. So he started taking lessons with, I believe, Michelangelo Badio, just recently, and learn how to shred. And it's like Tom Morello, I don't particularly like his approach, but it's innovative. I can say that it's innovative. It was always kind of recognizable with Digitech whammy pedal and all that stuff. And then shredding like better than those metal shredders. Who else? Basically, yeah, I can't think of anybody at the moment, but it just illustrates that it's never too late to learn. It's never too late to improve. And there's some guitarists who, maybe it's a good thing, stuck to their original style. For example, Dick Dale came up with the tremolo picking with his song Miserlou, and till his dying day he was true to that sound. He never went through the 80s phase with the gated drums and chorusy guitars. It was always surf music. It was always recognizable surf music, even though it could have been somebody else if you listen to the record, but his style remained unchanged. And it's fair to say that he kind of learned his craft when he was about 25, and it's been consistent throughout. B.B. King, same thing. Eric Clapton, once he reached his peak, in my opinion, in his Cream years, it's been consistent like that. Chuck Berry, whom I mentioned earlier, came up with the style, stayed consistent, never went through the 80s phase, never had the the chorusy, cheese sound. Brian May, same thing. He, by the time he was in his 20s, brilliant guitarist, still the same recognizable style and sound. So maybe it's a good thing that you have your own signature style, but nonetheless, it's never too late to improve. And I can use myself as an example. When I was playing guitar, and I've been playing for now almost 20 years, on and off, because I was playing bass for about 6 years, so I kind of neglected the guitar. But I I was playing guitar, and I had my own style, but it was just kind of like just a guitarist, right? I never used any effects, just distortion and wah-wah, nothing else. No phaser, no chorus, no envelope filter, none of that. Until I started just self-improving about 5 years ago, and I started recording videos of myself and learning new songs, and eventually which I vowed I would never do, made a pedal board for myself. I I never believed in pedal boards, and they're like, well, that's crazy. Why do you need so many things? But I made myself a pedal board, and not to brag, but people have noticed that, like, what people have been saying, like, what happened? Like, how did you improve? Like, what you just got so good all of a sudden. I mean, again, I'm just using myself as an example that it's never too late. So I was probably around 30, 31 when I just decided it's time to take my guitar playing to the next level. And I just worked at it, played daily. In the morning, before going to work, I would work out a solo or a section of a song by ear, record myself, review it later. And if you guys don't believe me, go watch my previous videos from 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and they make me cringe. But it's an evolution of my playing. So, in short, I don't know what's the sort of summary and the takeaway here. I guess it is that it's never too late to learn. Look at all these guitarists that I mentioned, Tony Iommi, Tom Morello, who decided to improve and take lessons, try playing different styles of music, but at the same time, don't lose your own style, your own signature, kind of recognizable style, because it's very important in the world of rubber stamped, carbon copied, manufactured everything. Music is manufactured, movies are just churned out. It's very important to maintain your own style. And those hobbies from the past, like in my case, my silly animations that I made when I was 15, you don't know, you never know. Someday those stupid hobbies may come in handy. So don't give up and continue to self-improve. Cheers.